Hello everyone and welcome to the second lecture for week 13 in our listening and speaking course, and this is also our last recorded lecture. In our previous lectures we discussed types of spoken language and we finished discussing 7 types, and in this lecture we're going to discuss idioms and learn some new English idioms. Okay, let's start. Okay, idioms. So, what are idioms in English? An idiom is an expression that contains a figurative meaning. An expression that contains a figurative meaning. إيش يعني figurative؟ استعاري، مجازي، رمزي، يعني معنى مش واضح بصورة حرفية. تمام، نعرفه من الcontext. An example is breaking the ice. إيش معنى breaking the ice؟ To break the ice with someone. حكينا هذا في السمول توكس. إني أبدأ الحديث مع شخص to break the ice، أكسر حاجز الصمت، الخجل، التوتر اللي بيكون موجود مثلا. هاي معنى break the ice. تمام، أكسر حاجز الخجل أو التوتر. The literal definition doesn't communicate any meaning. التعريف أو المعنى الحرفي للإكسبريشن ما لهوش أي معنى، بيعطينيش المعنى بالضبط للإكسبريشن نفسه. تمام. الملاحظة اللي بتأكد لي the individual words that form the idiom do not convey the same meaning when they are used together as an idiom. الكلمات breaking مثلا وice لحالهم أو كconstituents كمكونات لهذا الإديومز معناهم بيوصلش نفس المعنى اللي أنا بيوصلني أو بفهمه لما أستخدم هذا الإكسبريشن أو هدول الكلمات مع بعض. يعني تأكيد على الملاحظة إنه literal definition doesn't communicate any meaning. المعنى أو الترجمة الحرفية للإديوم بيعطينيش أي معنى. أوكي، الإديومز أشياء أنا لازم أكون عارفة معناها عشان أستخدمها وأفهمها. Okay, the last point here. Idioms are present in almost all languages, but they become meaningless when translated literally from one language to another. I think this is clear. Every language has its own idioms, and when these idioms are translated literally from one language to another, they lose their meaning. They become meaningless. So you should understand the idioms in their context and according maybe to the culture of the language where they are used. Okay, so almost all languages in the world have idioms and they have their own meanings within this language and the culture of this language, and they become meaningless. They lose the essence or main meaning when translated literally to another language. Okay? طيب, why are idioms important? Why are they important and why should we learn them? Okay, let's see why. Idioms are a part of daily speech and used to convey a meaning quickly and are often easy to use and learn. هما طبعا أول إشي بدنا نعرفه إنه they are part of daily speech. أول إشي الإديومز are not formal language، مش لغة يعني رسمية. تمام؟ They are used informally in informal contexts. تمام. They are part of daily speech and used to convey a meaning quickly. بستخدمها بجملة باصطلاح بمجموعة كلمات صغيرة ممكن أستخدمهم وأوصل المعنى بشكل سريع ومعنى كبير. تمام. They used to convey a meaning quickly and are often easy to use and learn. هم سهلين. We can convey meanings quickly through idioms and they are also easy to learn and use. Once you know the meaning of the idiom in its context, it's easy to use it and learn it. Okay? Type. You must learn, however, the group of words that form an idiom and recognize idioms when you hear them or read them. هذا الإشي الطبيعي. أنا عشان أكون فاهمة الإديوم إيش معناه لازم أفهم مجموعة الكلمات اللي بتكونه، ومجرد ما بسمع أو بقرأ خلص بعرف إنه هو هذا الإديوم وهذا المعنى. تمام. You must do this in order to use them in a context that conveys the underlying meaning that you wish to communicate. Why do we learn idioms? To be able to use them. نتعلمهم ليه؟ عشان نستخدمهم في سياقات مشابهة. You must do this in order to use them in a context that conveys the underlying meaning that you wish to communicate. أنا بدي أوصل معنى اللي في الإديوم break the ice، بفهم، بدي أتعلم الإديوم بالأول، أفهم معناه. I should be able to recognize its words، كلمات هذا الإديوم. مجرد ما بسمعها أو بقرأها بفهم إنه هيك المعنى. Once you learn the meaning of these idioms, you will be able to use them in similar contexts. مظبوط. مجرد ما أنا بتعلم معنى الإديوم بصير عندي قدرة إني أستخدمهم في سياقات مشابهة. تمام. and to communicate يعني similar meanings. They should be used carefully in a way that they add flavor to your writing and speech. طبعا نستخدمهم. You should be careful when you use them so that they make your writing or speech more interesting. تمام. or so that they give flavor to your writing or speech. نكون حذرين باستخدامهم عشان يعطوا شوية جمال أو نكهة لحديثنا أو كلامنا. طيب using too much however، استخدامهم بشكل يعني زيادة عن الحاجة too much will result in diverting from the original meaning that it was intended for. ممكن استخدام الزائد عن حده في الإديومز يغير لي في المعنى. will result in diverting from the original meaning that it was intended for. ممكن النتيجة تكون إنه إحنا نحيد عن المعنى الأصلي أو نبعد عن المعنى الأصلي اللي كان بدنا نوصله عن طريق الإديوم. تمام. إذا حتى الاستخدام المبالغ فيه لا، غير محبذ. It's not يعني advisable to use idioms too much. تمام. There are often context clues in the idioms that suggest the hidden meanings. دائما مرات حتى لو أنا بشوف idiom لأول مرة، بس once you listen أو you hear or read this idiom in a context as part of a context, I think you will be able to think or suggest the hidden meanings. هيكون عندك القدرة إنك تحاول تتنبأ. You will be able to predict the hidden meaning. كيف أنا تنبأت فيه؟ according to the context، لأنه أنا سمعت الإديوم أو قرأته بناء على سياق. Okay. طيب here are some popular idioms used in English language and their meanings. بدنا نشوف بعض الإديومز اللي تستخدم بالإنجليزية ومعانيهم. تمام. Number 1. A fool and his money are soon parted. What's the meaning of parted in English? Sorry. Parted means separated. انفصلوا. فإذا معنى الإديوم this means that people who aren't careful with their money spend it quickly. اللي بتصرفوا فيه بحماقة مع الموني. They are fools when they have money. تمام. This means that people aren't careful. The people who aren't careful with their money spend it quickly. طبيعي. المثل أو الإديوم a fool and his money are soon parted. بنفصلوا أو بتفرقوا بسرعة. طيب. A pretty penny used to say that something is very expensive. يعني بحكي مثلا that car must have cost a pretty penny. That car must have cost a pretty penny. يعني أكيد السيارة هذه غالية كتير. تمام. Okay, another idiom is ace up your sleeve. تمام, ace up your sleeve. An ace up your sleeve is something that gives you an advantage that other people aren't aware of. شغلة بتعطيك ميزة ومرات الناس بتكونش عارفة عنها هذه الميزة، مش دائما. تمام. المهم إنه المعنى الأساسي ace up your sleeve when something gives you an advantage. An ace up your sleeve is something that gives you an advantage. كيف؟ مثال: his popularity among voters gives him an ace up his sleeve for the coming election. شهرته بين الناخبين بتعطيه إيش؟ advantage للانتخابات الجاية، هتفيده، هذه الشغلة هتفيده في الانتخابات. تمام. his popularity among voters gives him an ace up his sleeve for the coming election. Okay, another idiom, make a killing. If you make a killing, then you're about to make a lot of money. Then, if you make a killing, then you're about to make a lot of money, أو you have a great financial success. تمام. You have a great financial success. Example: they are a safe investment. You can make a killing overnight. هذا الاستثمار آمن. You can make a killing overnight. هتحقق نجاح مالي بظرف ليلة. overnight يعني سريعا. تمام. quickly. Okay, the next one, make a mountain out of a molehill. If someone, again, make a mountain out of a molehill. If someone makes a mountain out of a molehill, they exaggerate the importance or seriousness of a problem. بالضبط زي اللي بالعربي لما نحكي بيعمل من الحبة قبة. تمام. make a mountain out of a molehill. To exaggerate the importance of or seriousness of a problem. exaggerate هنا بمعنى إيش؟ يبالغ. تمام. يضخم. Okay, another one, safe pair of hands. A person who can be trusted to do something without causing any trouble is a safe pair of hands. شخص أنت بتثق فيه يعمل شغلة without causing any trouble. Or a person who can hold responsibility. ممكن يتحمل مسؤولية. Can be without causing trouble طبعا. Can be described as a safe pair of hands. Example: the next leader of the party, in a party بمعنى حزب, should be a safe pair of hands. Should be someone who can be trusted to do something without causing troubles. شفتوا كيف بالexpression هذا يعني we saved the words، يعني عبرنا عن معنى كتير كبير. هنا كل هذا السطر مع هذا السطر بإيش؟ بثلاث كلمات. safe pair of hands. تمام. another one, salad days. salad days مش السلطة. salad days, the happy days in your life are referred to as the salad days. الأيام الحلوة زي ما بنحكي، الأيام الخوالي، يعني salad days, the happy days أو the youthful days of your life. أيام الشباب when you were young and you had little experience. تمام. لما بتكون صغير وما عندكش خبرة كتير في الحياة. salad days أيام الطيش زي ما بيحكوا. I met her in my salad days. شفتها إيش؟ وأنا صغير، شاب طايش أو كذا. أوكي. طيب about time. If you say it's about time that something was done, you're saying in an emphatic way that it should happen or be done now. لما بحكي it's about time to sleep، يعني I should sleep now. إجا وقت، حان موعد كذا. تمام. and really should have happened or been done sooner. لما بحكي it's about time to sleep يعني أنا كان مفروض أكون نايمة، أو يعني بدي أنام، يعني كان مفروض إجا الموعد، هو موجود موعد النوم. Example: don't you think it's about time you paid me back the money you borrowed؟ مش شايف إنه كان مفروض أنت تكون رجعت لي الفلوس، إنه إجا الوقت وراح اللي كان مفروض فيه ترجع الفلوس. It's about يعني حان موعد، ودايما أنت بتأكد that it should happen or be done now، كان مفروض تحصل الآن، أو على الأقل المفروض حاصلة إلها يعني مدة زمنية معينة. تمام؟ طيب absence makes the heart grow fonder. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. A proverb that means that our feeling for those we love increases when we are apart from them. طبعا واضح feelings that we have for people we love increase when we are separated or when we are apart from them. تمام، عكس ما احنا بنحكي بالعربي البعد جفا. But this is the opposite. إنه absence makes the heart grow fonder. طيب, the last one on this slide. To act high and mighty is to act proudly and arrogantly. تمام. Okay, another one. Actions speak louder than words. الأفعال تتكلم أو تتحدث أعلى من الكلمات. تمام. أو الأفعال أبلغ من الأقوال in Arabic. A proverb meaning that it's better to do something about a problem than to talk about it. It's better to do or to act. الأحسن إن نعطي action إذا عندنا مشكلة instead of just talking about this problem. Because actions speak louder than words. تمام. To act one's age is to behave in a more mature way. To act one's age, to behave in a more mature way. ودايما هذه frequently said to a child or teen. تمام. بنحكي example: Bill, stop throwing rocks. Act your age. تمام. يعني إيش؟ انتبه، حاسب على تصرفاتك أو تصرف بشكل ناضج أكبر. Okay. Now the next one, to add fuel to the fire. To add fuel to the fire, we have it the exact same one in Arabic. بنحكي بضيف بنزين على النار أو زيت على النار. تمام. Is to make a bad problem even worse. تمام. ونفسها بالضبط to add insult to injury. To add insult to injury is to make a bad situation even worse. يعني two idioms, exactly the same meaning. The last one on this slide, against the clock. To attempt to do something against the clock is to attempt to do something as fast as possible, usually before a deadline. اللي نحكيها بالعربي بيسارع الوقت. تمام. To attempt to do something against the clock is to attempt to do something as fast as possible, usually before a deadline. تمام. Okay, another idiom, all out, تيجي بمعنى complete أو very strong. They did an all-out search for the missing boy and they found him. They did a complete search. تمام. إذا all out بتيجي بمعنى complete أو very strong. They did an all-out search for the missing boy. They did a complete search for the missing boy and they found him. بعدين عندي all set بمعنى ready. مثال بحكي لك إذا A بيحكي ل B ready to go، B برد all set. Okay, and another expression, a little bird told me. A little bird told me. برضو إيش؟ نحكي بالعربي العصفورة حكت لي. صح؟ When someone says a little bird told me, it means they don't want you to know who told them. Clear. Another one, all in a day's work. اللي هو بمعنى typical, normal, expected. All in a day's work. Typical, normal, expected. إيش المتوقع عادي. Example, talking to famous celebrities is all in a day's work for some Hollywood reporters. Again, talking to famous celebrities is all in a day's work. عادي. Talking to famous celebrities is normal, is typical, is expected. شيء عادي متوقع. For some Hollywood reporters. للناس اللي بتذيع أو الصحفيين تبعون هوليوود. تمام؟ إنه عادي بيشوفوا مشاهير كل يوم. زي ريا أبي راشد مثلا. طيب the last idiom on this page, from all walks of life. From all walks of life يعني from all social, economic and ethnic groups. نحكي بالعربي من كل مناحي الحياة. تمام؟ Example, people from all walks of life voted for him, but he still lost the presidential election. الناس من مناحي الحياة كلها. من كل السوشيال economic and ethnic groups. تمام. Okay, our last slide, apple of someone's eye, someone's favorite person and sometimes thing. تمام. الشخص المفضل لحدا. We have the same idiom in Arabic. بنحكي قرة العين. مظبوط. Example, Sarah was the apple of Tom's eye for quite a long time. She was his favorite person for a long time. تمام. He was very much in love with her. He was in love with her. كان يعشقها. Okay. طيب, the apple of someone's eye. Another idiom, armed to the teeth. Armed to the teeth يعني heavily armed. مسلح يعني. تمام. مش army معناها جيش. وarmed مسلح. طيب, the rebels were armed to the teeth. The rebels were armed to the teeth. يعني الثوار المتمردين are heavily armed. They had lots of weapons. Okay. مسلحين. طيب, another expression, at all hours of the night. At all hours of the night يعني very late at night, throughout the night. At all hours of the night يعني very late at night, throughout the night. Example, her boyfriend would call her at all hours of the night. Her boyfriend would call her at all hours of the night. تمام. And the last expression, at each other's throats. At each other's throats. Fighting or arguing heavily. تمام. They were at each other's throats. The arguments never stopped. بيشبه إيش؟ بيستنى لي على الوحدة وهيك. تمام. At each other's throats يعني fighting or arguing heavily. Example, they were at each other's throats. The arguments never stopped. They never stopped arguing. They يعني went on fighting. تمام. Okay, this is the end of our lecture and also the end of our course. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope everything is clear in this lecture. And if you have any questions, we can discuss them in our next Zoom meeting. See you then, and thank you.